Hi, welcome back. You listen to Bob Mills on Talk Radio here. Bob Mills on Saturday. My very special guest in this little section of the show. And I'm going to do it like it should be done. Ladies and gentlemen, Van Connor.
Oh, I feel blessed now,
Yeah.
Bob. I do.
It's Van Connor. Only one man.
I can literally hear your production staff laughing in the booth behind us.
Only one man can talk about these movies. Hello, Van Connor.
Hello, Bob Mills.
Yeah, what I love about Van Connor is if they say Van Connor's coming in, you think, oh, Van Connor. And then Van Connor, you think, hey, Van's here. Hello, Van. He's a little man. Hello, Vanny.
It's nice to be loved, I must say.
Vanny. Tell us what we're talking about this week.
So
Van.
we've got 3 new movies. We've got Charlie's Angels. We've got The Nightingale. We've got Knives Out.
Where do you want to start?
I think we'll start with the angelic side. Let's go for the angels first.
Charlie's Angels.
So, of course, we're all familiar with the brand, the IP that is Charlie's Angels, starting in the 1970s with the Aaron Spelling TV series. I mostly remember that for the Tanya Roberts era and Farrah Fawcett, obviously.
Yeah.
Then, of course, came back into our lives 19 years ago now with Lucy Liu, Michael Drew, Cameron D and Destiny. Yeah, and the McGee movies. And now they're back 19 years later. We've got a new generation. It's the new millennium. It's the new millennial crop. It's a reiteration. What they've done is they've positioned this in marketing to be like the sort of, quote, woke feminist take on Charlie's Angels, which is an issue straight off the bat because it was always woke and feminist. It's Charlie's Angels.
But hang on, a feminist version of a film, a program that's based around 3 women beating blokes up.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. I know. And that's the thing, because obviously my way into Charlie's Angels was through the 2000 movies, the Cameron Diaz movies, which I already kind of thought of as kind of woke and feminist. They're a little cheeky, they're a little risque, but they were quite, they were, I wouldn't describe them as films for boys, even though there was a little bit of gratuitous, risque, sort of T&A kind of a thing. Well, now it's 2019. What you've got is a new era in which the Townsend agency, the one they work for, has become a global power. There are multiple Bosleys. Bosley is now a job title. It's like lieutenant.
Okay,
so there's teams in every major city. Each one has a Bosley. Each one has a saint, which is a man who's entrusted with their health and well-being. And we come into this through 2 angels, played by Ella Balinska, relative unknown, although I suspect not for very long, and Kristen Stewart, who has never been this much fun in any movie ever. And they are tasked with protecting and then later training a whistleblower from a tech company who has designed a new power source called Callisto, which has the inadvertent ability to be weaponized and turned into like an EMP for human beings. And I've got a clip for you of Naomi Scott's whistleblower basically trying to get the lay of this kind of new spy-driven land.
I'm kind of getting this, you guys are like lady spies, and I just need you to explain who this guy is and why was he shooting at you?
Oh, you. He was shooting at you.
At me?
The shooter's a ghost. Your file says that you are a systems engineer on the Callisto project.
You know about Callisto?
We know about a lot of things. That you graduated top of your class at MIT, that you take Krav Maga on Sundays, you ride your bike to work, you think yellow is one of your colors when in fact it's no one's. That you could be dating a lot more if you played up those cheekbones in your online profile pictures. What we don't know is why someone wants you dead.
So, that's Elizabeth Banks as their Bosley.
Perfectly nice setup.
It is, isn't it? Well, this is the thing, because of the Bosleys we get Patrick Stewart, Jaimin Hunsu, and Elizabeth Banks.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good time when Patrick Stewart turns up,
Yes,
isn't it?
absolutely.
And I can happily say the movie is a good time. It's a bit of a mess, as in it's not quite as funny as it thinks it is. I mean, most of the comedy goes to Kristen Stewart, which is a sentence that I never thought I would say aloud, if I'm honest. Ella Balinska blows me away. I mean, I don't know where they found her, but she's incredible. And when Marvel get around to doing the X-Men again, she's Storm. Like, that's the fantasy casting for Storm. Get her to do it. Just let her keep the accent. She's great. And I love Naomi Scott. I think she's a star in the making. It's just one of those things.
Now, this has been, I think the problems that have come with this film, I haven't seen it, or I will see it. It sounds great. The marketing for it has been so in your face. The quote that I read, and it came from someone within the film, from a named source, which was, I hope it's successful, it deserves to be successful, but if it's not, it'll just go to prove that men don't like women-based action films.
Which is
Well,
nonsense.
Of course it's nonsense.
Well, because, Captain Marvel crossed $1 billion.
Yeah.
All right, it had the Marvel brand literally in the title. But, come on, Captain Marvel's a great movie. This, to be fair, any failures with this come with the fact that it hasn't been marketed as the film that it actually is. I think it's smarter than it's been advertised as. I think it's been advertised as something akin to a 2003 action movie like Bad Company or Triple X. In fact, actually, I did think a few times of the Vin Diesel Triple X franchise. It has that sort of mid-budget kind of appeal to it. It feels at times, because we live in a different era to when they made the last movies, and this feels a lot of the time like a sort of Netflix pilot. Like, I half expected, at the end of it to say, "Are you still watching?" and then cue up the next episode.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, I had a good time with it. I like that they have taken all of the not all, almost all, of the pre-existing Charlie's Angels brand and just said, you know what? This is the next generation. They all existed. We even get to see a photoshopped Patrick Stewart with the 70s crop and with Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu and Michael Drew. And they ignore the 2011 crop because apparently everyone does. I didn't know that till this week. And I like that. The whole thing's gearing towards this idea that if they ever did a sequel, it could be like Fast Five and they just get all the heavy hitters from all the ones gone by. It's like Cameron Diaz and Tanya Roberts can turn up. I will say I was disappointed that this is the first Charlie's Angels thing they've done since Farrah Fawcett passed, and we didn't even get a tribute. Because I'm sorry, Egon Spengler at least got a statue.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's one of those things. I liked it, though. I had issues with how heavy-handed it played its feminist cards, as in it did it in a sort of parodic way, as in nearly every male member of this cast is portrayed as this almost foaming at the mouth cartoon rapist type. I mean, there's an entire sequence in this movie in which a single character has a conversation in which he says nothing but chauvinistic things. You're like, this isn't plausible that this is any kind of real world, because he'd slip one non-chauvinistic sentence in just to be a person.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy-handed with it. But having said that, it's clever. It's smart. I mean, it has the sass. It has the smarts. It has the sassy hair flips. It is a Charlie's Angels movie in every sense of the term, but I think it's going to be too crass for people who love the 70s one. I think it's going to be too dull for people that like the 2000s one. And I think it's going to be too run-of-the-mill for people just coming into it as newcomers.
Right. The thing in Knives Out, I want to look at Knives Out.
Well,
because Daniel
you're right
Craig's
too.
in it, isn't he?
Daniel Craig is in this, and I can say that Daniel Craig is genuinely terrific in this, and I say that as someone who thinks he's the worst Bond. No, I'm sorry he is. He is, but he just is. He plays it like a doorman. Anyway, back to the point. So this is a murder mystery from writer-director Rian Johnson, who brought us Looper and Star Wars The Last Jedi. He's a great director. This is a murder mystery in the old-school Agatha Christie style. You've got the death of a multi-millionaire murder mystery novelist played by Christopher Plummer, presumably because Kevin Spacey was busy this week. And basically, his entire family are suspects. It falls to a PI named Benoit Blanc, played by a southern accent and almost foghorn leghorn-like Daniel Craig, who says things like, I can preclude no suspects, to look into just who done it. I got a clip for you of them all turning up for the wake.
Thank you all for getting together like this. It isn't legally necessary, but I thought because you're all in town and some of you are leaving soon.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to gently request that you all stay in town until the investigation is completed.
Well, he's gently requesting, but I'm gonna have to make that an order. No one move until we figure this all out.
What? Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask?
Mr. Stevens, you may continue.
Great movie. It really is.
I like the sound of that's a good accent.
Do you like a good old-fashioned Columbo episode?
Yes.
Right, you're going to love this. This is literally what would happen. This is the closest I've ever seen to let's make Cluedo into a movie without making it a comedy like Clue.
Oh, that was horrible. That was on the other night.
It's an acquired taste, isn't it?
Oh, God, it's awful.
Right. Daniel Craig steals it. Hell of a cast. Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, Chris Evans, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Anna de Armas, Lakeith Stanfield, Catherine Langford. Honestly, I can't name them all. It's that big a cast. They're all terrific. It's very funny. It's very smart. It will keep you guessing. Even when they do the Columbo thing of showing you in real time, as the characters are learning, what actually happened, there's always more to it. The more you know in advance, the less you're going to enjoy it. So please don't watch any trailers if you can avoid it. It is great. It's
Don't read the blurb.
One of my favourites of the year, hands down. You're going to love it, Bob.
Right, 2 minutes to Nightingale.
2 minutes to Nightingale. So Nightingale's a new movie from Babadook writer-director Jennifer Kent. Kind of a horror movie like that, but in a more subtle, dramatic sense. This is set in 18th or 19th century Tasmania when the British had penal colonies there. Follows the story of an Irish convict played by Aisling Franciosi. Her husband and newborn baby are killed, and she is brutally gang raped and sets out for revenge on Sam Claflin, the British guard of the colony, when he's gone off on a mission. I've got a clip for you of just how trippy and psychedelic this gets.
We're all right. We're all right. We're all right. We're all right. We're all right! We're all right! We're all right! We're all right!
That got you jumping, didn't
You
it,
did
Bob?
that on purpose, Connor. You did that on
I've been
purpose.
saving that all day for you, mate.
Made me think that they'd just forgotten to tell us we were back and bang.
No.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a barrel of laughs.
Do you know, it's a great movie. It's half an hour too long, but it's cold, atmospheric, really intense, really brutal. There were walkouts at film festivals when it was shown because people objected to some of the graphic content in it. I think the performance by Aisling Franciosi is genuinely terrific. Sam Claflin blew me away. Didn't even know he could do that. Damon Harrington from the recent Judy and Punch, and he was Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great sporting player in this, really foaming at the mouth, almost a Michael Shannon-like role. Sam Claflin, by the way, is also in Charlie's Angels as well this week.
Now, hang on. Are we going to have you back with this side of Christmas?
Sorry?
Are you going to come back in before Christmas?
I would love to.
Right, come back before Christmas and we'll do proper Christmas films. Bless your heart, Van Connor.